Okay, so I had anorexia nervosa, and it started when I was a junior in high school, and I struggled a lot in high school with my weight, and it wasn't because I was overweight, it's just I wasn't as skinny as the other girls that were in my class and that were around me. Freshman year, I was on a swim team, and then I took a year off on my sophomore year, and so I kind of gained weight and got unhealthy again, and then junior year I went back on the swim team. Going into junior year, I told myself that I would be better, and I would be more fit, and I would try to be better for myself. People saw me and stuff, and so I remember like this distinct memory that my coach, he had a day when we all came in, and he basically just sat down and talked about nutrition, and basically just told us that we needed to cut out all the crap in our diet and eat like lean meats and vegetables and stuff, and don't eat anything that's processed, and just basically eat healthy. And so basically that's where it all started, and I started cutting out a lot of foods in my diet that really bad, like sugars, basically anything that wasn't grilled or a vegetable or fruit, I didn't eat. And so it really took a toll on my body because I started swimming really competitively. I lost, I think, like 25 pounds in 2 months. And a normal weight for me would be, I think it was like 125, and I got down to 102. And so that was through my junior year, and also that was paired with I started going through depression, anxiety, and it kind of led into me hating myself more and not liking the way I was, and then comparing myself to all the girls in high school, all the popular girls, and how they looked and saw me and how I wanted to be popular. People started noticing that I started looking different, and they could start seeing my like ribs showing, and then in my swimsuit I would have sores on my back because my spine, when we would do floor exercises for dry land, they would start giving me sores and stuff, and so people started asking questions, and actually I got a lot of positive feedback, which I think fueled my eating disorder, like me continually eating and doing what I did, exercising too much and eating too little, and it kind of fueled me and made me feel good, like, oh, people are giving me compliments and they think I look skinnier, and this is great, and I just want to keep doing it, and I just kept doing it, and it got even worse, and to the point where I started having heart problems, and I had to get out of the pool because I couldn't hang. At that point it became like kind of concerning for my family and my friends and my coach, and basically I was basically forced into the recovery process because my mom threatened to send me to a recovery sanctuary in Oklahoma. And so I was basically forced to go into recovery, and I had to go to a nutritionist and a counselor, and basically not do any exercises anymore and eat a lot more to gain weight. And it was basically a 2-year process, and I'm still working on myself and how I see myself eating healthier, but doing it in moderation. And it's still a process, and I don't think that people understand that when you tell somebody like with an eating disorder, or just like they have self-confidence issues or whatever, and like you tell them, oh, just eat more, just all you have to do is just eat. It's actually really not that simple, because it's actually a very mental battle with yourself, and I did that a lot, and I still do that, where I fight myself to like not compare myself to other girls, and know that like my body composition is completely different from anybody else that's around me, and I need to keep that in perspective at all times, and not to take that out on what is actually like healthy for me to consume in a day, or like my nutrition and stuff. And so yeah, recovery takes time, and it's a very, very long process. I know that most girls take years to get over, and with the way the like society is nowadays, I think it's more common for girls to go through eating disorders or just self-confidence issues, and it's a really hard thing to deal with, and I think it's very important for girls to get support through friends and family, and even counseling if you need it. Be aware of the eating disorder, just like look for signs, like be very familiar with the signs of an eating disorder, given it's just like looking extremely underweight, or just, I guess, not eating during lunchtime. I'll like reach out to the student and just like tell her that you like take interest in the student, basically, and tell her or him that that you're there for them, and then kind of, I guess, figure out what's going on in their life, and then somehow I guess, contact like a counselor or whatever to maybe take interest in the student, and also just like being there for a student as a teacher I think would have helped me a lot, because I didn't really have any mentors, I guess, or anybody that actually took interest in my problems or anything during high school. So I think it actually would have been beneficial, even though the way that people react to eating disorders or help during eating disorders is a lot different, and the way that I coped with that was that I really didn't want anybody's help. I didn't want anybody to talk to me. I didn't want anybody to like tell me, oh, you need to eat more, because that was just like a trigger word for me. That was like a trigger, and so it really upset me. So I would basically just distance myself off. But I think honestly, if a teacher actually genuinely took an interest in me and not just the fact that they think something's wrong, and then created a connection with me, and then after that like try to like connect me with a counselor or something, or some way to help her. Maybe not contact my parents, because I know that with me, and I know with other people, parents is a very tricky subject when it comes to eating disorders and stuff, and can be the source of eating disorders in some cases. But just like basically just to take an interest and connect with the student personally on a personal level.
Okay class, today we're going to talk about eating disorders. Eating disorders are serious mental illnesses characterized by abnormal or disturbed eating habits. These are the most common. Anorexia is where they restrict their diet. Bulimia is when they binge and purge, so they eat a lot of food and then throw it up. And then binge eating is they just eat a lot of food. And then anorexia athletica is where they don't eat and they're overly working out and stuff. Orthorexia is they're obsessed with like what they eat and make sure it's like really healthy. Treatments are inpatient and outpatient. Inpatient is where you're like at a facility and they monitor you. Outpatient is where you go for therapy. And here I listed some facts. It's the hardest illness to treat. It has the highest mortality rate. Every hour somebody dies with one of those disorders. 3 in 5 women and 1 in 4 men. And there's 30 million in the U.S. that have this eating disorder, and that's just people who have actually like came and like said that they had it and stuff. And 40 to 60% of girls ages 6 to 12 are concerned about their weight. 42% of 1st to 3rd grade girls want to be thinner, and it's highly underfunded, so the government doesn't fund it very well. If y'all have any questions, just stay after class and come talk to me.
Hi, we had a couple of questions.
Okay.
So I have a friend, and she may have an eating disorder, but I think that she also has depression as well, and so I was wondering like why that might be.
Yeah, well, eating disorders come hand in hand with like depression, anxiety. So once people get the disorder, they start experiencing depression, anxiety, and more mental
illnesses.
Yeah.
Okay. So if she does have an eating disorder, what can I do to maybe help her out, or what is something on campus that's available to her?
Well, there is a group called WANA. It stands for We Are Not Alone, and it's an eating disorder group that's here on campus. And if she needs further help, there is a facility in Buffalo Gap called Shades of Hope that you can take her to, or like mention it to her and just like edge her into it.
Okay.
And if we were to refer her to like some treatment center, do you know what different types of treatment there are? Or
there is inpatient and outpatient at Shades of Hope. The inpatient is where they stay for a long period of time, and nurses there's nurses, therapists, all those people. They monitor her eating and all that stuff. Or there's outpatient to where she could go see a therapist like every week or something.
Okay.
So do you know of like anyone else on campus, or like how many people do you think on our campus would like have eating disorders also?
Yeah, well, as I said in class, there's 3 in 5 women that have it, and so that would mean out of 100 women, there's about 60 girls that have it, and I know for sure that at least there's one girl in every social club here on campus that has an eating disorder.
That's really interesting.
With y'all's friend, have y'all noticed that she has any signs of like anxiety or OCD about her body? Because some people like look in the mirror and see that they have body dysmorphia, which like they think they're fat but they're not. Mm-hmm. So have you noticed any signs of that?
Yeah, definitely. She's
so.
lost a lot of weight, and she still Thinks
says
that, yeah, she
fat,
still says she's fat and she needs to lose more.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there any way that maybe she can get healed from this, or is there any kind of like final treatment for her that will completely solve the issue?
Yeah, everyone's different. People sometimes take years to get over it, and everyone has like their different triggers that could cause a relapse. So like when life becomes like uncontrollable and people make comments like you need to eat more, like you're too skinny, it can trigger the eating disorder even more.
Okay.
So it just depends with everyone.
So maybe we should help her out and just make sure that her life is more controlled and help her like know that like she has control of her life in more than ways than just eating.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're both studying to be teachers. Do you know some things we can look out for in our future classrooms, like if we have students with eating disorders, or like ways that we can look out to like tend to their needs?
Yeah, the most important thing is to have a relationship with them and like make them aware that you want to help them, and that's the most important, is building a relationship with them. Also, like, know your resources and where you can find them help, and not just go straight to their parents, because that could be really bad for them, because it could be very like overwhelming for the student, definitely with their parents. So just know like where you can get them help, like through therapists, psychologists, all that stuff. So.
All right. Thank you so much for your help today.
You're welcome.
We'll go and try to help her out, and now we know for the future as well.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.